Hello, everyone. Hi, I am Carla, the Cosmic Crone. And, excuse me, technology. Make all the little windows go away. Oh my gosh, it is 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time on the coast of Maine, where I live. And I am here with the chart of 2:22 p.m. Eastern Time on February 22nd, 2022. I've been tuned in to this 22222 portal for a while. I was working with the client, and the subject of master numbers or angel numbers came up. So I just decided, what's going on in the astrology on February 22nd? I did 2:22 a.m. But I was asleep at 2:22 a.m., so I'm here with you now at 2:22 p.m. And in that particular situation, that client, the astrology for this particular moment was touching her natal astrology in a really potent way. And in fact, it's touching all of us in a really potent way. So I'm going to talk about what's going on in the astrology and what it symbolizes for us. I've been talking a lot about Venus retrograde, and Venus is nearing the completion of that whole cycle. She is right now in a triple conjunction with Venus, Mars, and Vesta, between 20 and 22 degrees of Capricorn. And she is retracing her steps through her retrograde. She's in direct motion now. And it's really lively, energetic, personal astrology. So what's happening right this very minute? I was astounded to see that Vesta has tipped over, and she is at 2209. 2209 Capricorn, and I looked ahead to see when she's going to be moving out of the 20. She's going to be in the 22nd degree, the 23rd degree of Capricorn for 2 days. And tonight at midnight, she's something like at 2222. So these twos just don't stop. Well, what does that even mean? Well, here's what I believe that it means, or I have decided that it means. My philosophy of astrology is that the planets in the zodiac are ways that the ancestors, or that divine, however you want to look at it, angels, ways that they communicate with us. And it is a way. Earth is at the center of the astrology wheel, and if you're doing a natal chart, or you hearing my words, thinking about what does this mean to me, we are each in the center of this chart, and we are on Earth. And so the messages in the sky are really about Earth. They are all directed towards us, for us humans to hear, to receive, and to decide what they mean for us. So you book a reading with me, I can tell you what it means. I can tell you, I can give you a degree of wisdom or inspiration that I'm receiving from the reading. And ultimately, it's you that knows what it means to you. We are co-creators of everything, even our oracles. And that's very much what Vesta stands for. Things like numbers, angel numbers, master numbers, patterns that we detect in an astrology chart. These are things that get our attention. Do they mean anything all by themselves? Well, some people would say yes, but I say their primary meaning is to get our attention. and to make us think and to make us perk up our ears and listen, or to go within and listen. So let's look at all the things Vesta stands for, the High Priestess. I did some more. Google is my friend. When I'm doing readings, I get, or thinking about any topic, sometimes I'll say, ooh, what happens if I look up this? So what does the number 2 mean? I Googled that. And what do I get? The very first thing that came up was, I think I Googled 2 and priestess, those 2 words. Tarot is not my second language, so I did not know without looking it up that the 2 card of the major arcana in tarot is the High Priestess. But a quick Google search told me that that is in fact true. So here at this moment of 2, and Vesta at 22 Capricorn, we are opening a door that is full of the wisdom of the High Priestess and the meaning. And so when we consciously open our minds and hearts to the potential there, we literally are creating a portal to step through. So the High Priestess, this is the Rider-Waite. I also have the Priestess card of the Dark Goddess Tarot, which is the Pythia. So these 2 have something, oh my goodness. Oh wow, I just saw this. The snake in the Pythia, the python. This priestess is a snake priestess. The snake, the python, guarded the oracle of Delphi. So the Pythia was the priestess who lived at and received the message of the oracle at Delphi. She was the embodied oracle, and so she is the one who would speak when people came with their questions. She was the one who interpreted the mystery. And this card, the High Priestess in Rider-Waite Tarot, refers to the one who goes between the worlds, who pulls back the veil, who shows us what's going on in the unconscious realm, the divine realm, the realm that is outside or underneath or beyond our ordinary reality. So as the feminine aspect of these personages, the priestess as opposed to the priest, she is very much about what is in the darkness, what is hidden. The feminine is about what is under the roots or in the roots. So this goddess, this priestess, and this dark goddess who represents the priestess. And then we have Vesta, who in the Dark Goddess Tarot is the Ace of Fire, or the Ace of Wands, which represents the fire, the life force, the erotic energy. And this Ace of Wands represents the inner erotic energy that is the origin of all of our other fire and desire energies. So here we have Vesta, the priestess. And the Vesta idea of the priestess is both the one who looks behind the veil, who is the go-between, and she's also the one who manages the temple and its properties. And what she means inside of each of us, Vesta is very much embodied. We each have within us, within our bodies, the altar, the temple, the sacred flame, and Vesta is tending that within us. So Vesta and the Pythia, the oracle. Now, this goddess lives in our womb for women. The altar, the sacred fire, is in our womb. This goddess is the oracle, and our wombs are also an oracle. This is work that I do with the women in my initiations, the Lilith initiation, the Vesta initiation, and the upcoming Juno initiation. Any time that we are learning how to work with womb energy, we work with the oracle of the womb. So we have Priestess as the keeper of the sacred flame, Priestess as the oracle, and then Priestess as the one who goes between the mundane, ordinary reality world and the secret mystical world of the divine or the unconscious. And the other thing about our unconscious that we don't always realize, and it took me a while when I first learned this to fully accept it, and I kept trying to understand it with my mind, and I finally had to let that go. And that is that the unconscious mind is everything. Everything's in it. Everything from the inner child, the ego that's trying hard to keep us safe, the one that would keep us small and little and hidden, that doesn't believe that we are mighty and powerful and grown up. And it is also spirit. It is the great void of creation. It is the divine itself. It is the mind of God. These are all aspects of ourselves. This conscious being that is connected to a body and an identity that lives on the planet that appears to be subject to time and space is just like it's like a plug into the vastness of all that is. And so we all have within us this priestess or possibly priest capacity. And we can all learn to use that gift. This is not something that is beyond us. It is something that is within us. So I'm sharing that just to give you a context of why Vesta excites me. She is currently my favorite planet and has always been one of my favorite planets. And I love it that she's hanging out with Mars and Venus. It's almost like she is administering. Right now we are in the middle of the sacred marriage. Mars and Venus are united, and they are emerging together from Venus' underworld journey. And Vesta is with them. She is holding the space. She is officiating this ritual that we are in from last full moon on the 17th of February to the next new moon on March 2nd. And it keeps going after that, but it really, once Vesta hands Venus off to the above world, to the world of air, Mars and Venus cross over into Aquarius together. So they are still experiencing their divine union, but Vesta, her job is complete. Her emphasis is going to change a little bit. So she's doing this work with them right now. So what does this mean for you? What does this mean for all of us? Well, looking at the chart, what does this chart say? We have the North Node and the demonized goddess Algol, Lilith star. She has all those names: Algol, Medusa, Lilith star, demonized goddess. with the North Node, the general universal North Node, as the nodes, lunar nodes, are traveling around. So when you look at this, the North Node is something that we are becoming. We are in the process of becoming. Sometimes you'll hear me use the word destiny. It is a place that we're journeying towards. It is our guiding star, our North Star. And wherever it is in your own personal chart, your natal chart, it means something very personal for the trajectory of your life. But what this is saying for all of us right now is that our journey is taking us back to the demonized goddess. It is saying, look at these things you have been told were evil and dangerous, and reevaluate what you see, what you've been taught, what you've been told, and open your eyes to the truth of the divine feminine and the role that she plays in sustaining life and creating the world, and what does she have to say to you. So there is Algol and the North Node. And it's like going to the altar of the dark goddess and lighting that sacred fire and going to your knees and saying, I ask for your help. Or the same thing, different words. How may I serve you? It sounds like we're saying two different things, but when it comes to ancestors, angels, and divine, they're both the same. How can you help me? How can I serve you? So this is what's happening universally the world over right now on this 2/22/22 day. And that position is in a flow. It is speaking the language of, it is communicating and drawing energy from and giving energy to the planet Pluto and this trio of planets that are traveling through the last third of Capricorn together. These are all communicating with one another. Mars, Venus, Vesta, Pluto, Algol, North Node. Pretty important. These three planets are, somebody's wanting to bring me lunch. I'll get it in a minute. These three planets are also in a square to Eris. Eris is the goddess of chaos, and a square is like a tight, rigid aspect that says there is some stuck energy here. There is something that is not moving. There's something that is blocked by either fear or a belief system, or something needs to happen. And so as these planets are moving more and more into connection with Eris and into that square, they will be asking us to make a change. They'll be asking us to do something, to unleash that energy, to relax something, because we are holding that energy tight in ourselves. We are responding to what we feel happening in the sky above us, beyond our conscious observation even. And so what if we just said, I won't be afraid of chaos anymore. I am going to allow the chaos. When the sacred union happens, unpredictable energies are unleashed. So let's let that happen. I'll allow it to happen in my life, and I will see what's going on, and I will seize the opportunity. Now, in mythology, these people, Venus especially, rejected Eris. She wanted nothing to do with her. But Eris is the powerful goddess, the goddess of chaos and discord and burning shit down, that we all need to be able to embrace at this time, in this era, because it's all around us. And if we cannot somehow expand ourselves, and this is the gift that the sacred marriage gives us, uniting the divine feminine and masculine in a sacred ceremony with Vesta in the presence of Pluto, expands us so that a little discord and chaos, or even a lot, has room to move around. We are not hurt by it, but we can work with it and create with it. It sounds kind of magical and mystical, and it is. It really is. That's what we're here for. What else is going on? Mercury and Juno are together in Aquarius. I'll be talking a lot more about Juno lately. She has been coming into my consciousness and my visions, and she's ready for her voice to be heard. Juno, the queen of the goddess, the keeper of the sacred marriage. It's happening in Capricorn, but Juno stands for how that energy manifests in our lives, literally manifests. And one of the ways that it manifests is social justice and letting the good for women and children be the prevailing and defining value of the society. That is why Juno is ready to have her voice heard, because we can't keep doing this. We can't keep destroying and killing and subjugating women and children, just putting them into the hopper and feeding them to the patriarchy. It's not working. It's killing the earth. It's killing us. A lot of conjunctions in this astrology right now. One of them is Jupiter and Nessus. Jupiter, the expander, the bringer of blessings and good luck and good fortune, is merging his energy, and this is applying. It's going to be taking place over the next few days. Nessus is the sign that it is time to heal ancestral trauma, abuse, and sex abuse especially. So the opportunity for ancestral trauma, or if you or someone you know, it's liable to come up. Something could get triggered. Something comes into your awareness, an opportunity to look at something that maybe you haven't seen before, or you've been suppressing because it's painful. You or someone near you, we as a collective, as a society, as a world, can begin to look at this work. And it can look all different kinds of ways. So between all of us, allowing what's coming up in our lives to come up, we can cover all the bases. I gave myself pause because I was just in a conversation around diversity and inclusion, and the topics of white supremacy and racism came up, and some healing, some awareness Awareness is a first step for healing. Awareness and new insights and possibly new paths forward came up in the conversation. And now I'm hearing myself talk about Jupiter and Nessus and how this is up. Well, no accident. I don't know if doubt if the people who set this thing up were looking at my astrology here, but um, this is where this was another thing I was going to talk about in terms of the High Priestess, and I'll get to this more later, but talking about how synchronicity and coincidence are ways that divine speaks to us. So I'll come back to that. So just be aware and allow it. Know that you are safe and protected, and if you need some help to work with some stuff that's coming up, find someone who can be with you. Someone you trust, a friend, a therapist, God, a dog, your pet. I mean, we all have different resources, and so use the resources you've got. You don't have to be alone when the things come up. And I think this is the last one I'm going to mention. Something that's been going on for a few days, and it is still happening right now. Mary Magdalene, Magdalena, and the Galactic Center. This is like the spectrum of the feminine. The Galactic Center is like a divine feminine immanence that is at the center of our galaxy, and it is located at 2709 Sagittarius. Mary Magdalene is at the moment 2756 Sagittarius. So she was a woman, a human being, not a goddess, a person who was the consort of Christ, who was a great teacher and truth teller of her own time, and she left teachings and words that are in this era coming to light. We are beginning to understand the impact she had and how she was actively suppressed because patriarchy could not hear her teachings or Jesus' real teachings. They had to absolutely disparage her, make her insignificant, and make Jesus in their own image. So here we have these two aspects of the divine feminine. We are surrounded. This sacred marriage is in this great circle of support and magic and divine energy that if we take, now listening to my words, you might say, oh, I've got to go get that book on Mary Magdalene off my shelf that I haven't read yet. Or you might be saying, it's time for me to explore the family trauma that I know is there, and I haven't wanted to deal with it, and now it's time. Or you might be saying, let me look up Algol, let me look up the demonized goddess, the Lilith. Let me look up the Hieroskamos. Let me study up on the priestess. So you may be hearing one part of this and you're saying, that's the part that I want to dive into. And that's good. That's good, because all of us together doing our individual work, we are creating an atmosphere of shift together. So feel into yourself and say, ooh, how can I contribute to this shift? And it's all going to be different, and it's all good. And so let me talk to you a moment about how to ritually work with this. Working with the oracle. If you are my initiate, or there may be other people teaching something like this as well, if you know how to access your womb as oracle, do some womb centering. and listen. Or check your body, check with your gut or your heart or whatever way, or your third eye, however your body communicates with you. Because we are all like sacred antenna for divine information. And I believe that one of the most effective ways to access that information is through your womb. But if that's an unfamiliar idea to you, you may have other ways. Tarot, other oracle card systems, pendulums, Akashic records, scrying, runes, Ouija boards, something you've never done before. Like, oh, here's one, and it's kind of goofy, but it can still work. Take a book that you know is full of wisdom and open the book and read the page. Ask your question and open the book and read the page. And I used to do that. I learned to do that with the Bible when I was a girl growing up in church. And there were moments when it's like, oh yeah, can't argue with that. That sounds like divine truth. And there were other times when it's like, he took a goat and sacrificed it and then went out and killed all the priests of Baal or whatever. It's like, what? What am I supposed to be doing with that? Okay. So anyway, let's be really clear. Tune in to your inner priestess because she's within you, male or female, she's within you. Tune into the oracle. See what you get. And then keep listening. I just described a coincidence, which means that working with ancestral trauma is up for me right now because I just found myself in a conversation 2 hours ago about it. So once you get your message, or maybe you get nothing, you're like, how long do I have to wait before I get a message? You got your message. It just might not have bubbled up into your conscious mind. So that is where you start looking for synchronicities over the next 24 hours. And I like to look in threes. If I get something 3 times, like you have 3 different conversations and every one of them asks you a similar question, or you hear words coming out of someone's mouth or out of your own mouth. Ooh, better pay attention to that. Sometimes we don't even notice it till we've heard the 3rd one. It's like, oh, wait. Or you flip on the television, or you turn on your music and the lyrics, the words. Back when I used to drive around more, sometimes I would ask for a sign, and then I would see them, maybe the truck going by with the word painted on its side, or walk into the store and the lyric of the song, it would just happen over the car radio. So look for the confirmation. It makes it fun. And I'm going to invite you, if you're a woman, of anyone who identifies as a woman, because you have energetic womb or a physical womb, either or both, come over to the Womb Wisdom Portal, because we are going to be talking more about the priestess, about the goddess, about the energy of these times. And I want you to be a part of that conversation. I invite you to be a part of that conversation. So I hope this has been of value to you on this very, very special day. And pay attention to your dreams tonight. Ask. Have a sip of water and say, please help me remember my dreams. Sometimes it works. And have a blessed day of twos and Priestess Portal.